So I request all the participants, you can mute yourself so that the uncomfortable is there, we can avoid it. Yes, shall we start, sir?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Welcome to that our third day second session. Here we have Dr. S. Shankar sir from NIT Warangal. He is going to give a topic on the use of marginal materials in low volume nodes. To introduce our keynote speakers of today's sessions, I request Ikramullah Khan to give a few words about our guest.
So thank you for handing the session, sir. So let me introduce our keynote speaker, Dr. S. Shankar, sir. Sir is Assistant Professor in Department of Civil Engineering in NIT Warangal. So sir has completed his graduation from Vasavi College of Engineering, Hyderabad, and his post-graduation from NIT Warangal in the year 2006. And sir has completed his PhD from same NIT Warangal in the year 2012. And sir has a professional experience in teaching almost more than 14 years. So sir has guided more than 5 PhD students. And when it comes to the publications, sir has more publications, more than 15 international journals, and more than conference. If we speak about conference, he has 25 more conference papers. Sir has achievements, awards, and honors such as Outstanding Faculty in Engineering Award, Venus International Foundation, Chennai, Tamil Nadu. And sir is also invited for the different talks. If I start that speak, it will take more than 5 minutes. So let me tell you 2 to 3 invited talks, such as pavement management system. Today workshop on geotechnical materials aspects of payments, December 2013, organized by National Institute of Technology, Warangal. Flexible pavement design and construction, one-day national level workshop on road construction methods and February 2013. Next, assessment of pavement conditions, one-day workshop on highway challenges, organized by SREC, Warangal. So, lot of invited talks is there. So with this, I invite Dr. S. Shankar, sir, to take the session. Thank you, sir.
Yeah, thank you very much, Ikram. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Okay. Friends, thank you for the brief biodata. I don't know where do you get it. I did not supply my biodata, which usually I don't do these things. One important thing that missed in my biodata is I'm very happy to see the SR University, where it is like my second home, where I worked at SR Engineering College before joining at NIT Warangal. I have a short period of one year as head of the department and associate professor at SREC. First batch students was guided by me and the department also. So for that, I thank the outside, the management, secretary, who is a dynamic and instrumental, also a good friend of mine, Professor Mahesh, the principal, and also Dr. Praveen, and the Dr. Samaya, and a few other colleagues who have encouraged me to join at SREC, because that was my first assignment after I completed my PhD and I joined as a faculty, which has given me a lot of ground truth challenges to learn and lead the teaching profession. Of course, undoubtedly, I can say that I learned many things from the SREC, and it has helped me to join at the NIT Warangal. So I also thank Dr. Rajesh, a young and dynamic faculty who has taken an initiative to start a timely and the need of the hour a topic, something like a sustainable material for smart cities, the challenges and the recent trends in the civil engineering area under the Atal Training and Learning Academy. So I congratulate for all the coordinators as well as the management for taking such a timely topic for the benefit of the researchers as well as the faculty members in general. Yeah, coming to me, I'll be given time for another 1 hour, mostly 1 hour, 10 minutes I'll speak. But before I speak, I'll welcome you all for once again this. And this is what my brief presentation outline. So I'll be talking for the what is the background of the low volume road, what are the conventional payment materials, what are the different marginal materials that are used in low volume roads, what are the testing or evaluation system that is required for the marginal materials, of course, and the summary, research needs, or way forward, and the discussion for the benefit of the faculty members who are attending, and those who are want their research in the area of payment engineering. So I caution you here. I have about some 40 slides, which is purely speaks about some research, some of the works carried out at NIT Warangal, some of the important challenges and issues, all those things. I will not be covering a routine stuff like include what is the soil test we conduct, what is the payment test we conduct, what is the aggregate test we conduct. All those things I am not interested in. Things. What I wanted to tell you is, what is this marginal material? Why we are talking about this marginal materials? What is the need of this marginal materials? How these marginal materials are related to the something like in a sustainable material for smart cities or sustainable material challenges and recent trends. So that was the presentation, friends, presentation outline. Now, I have been told that most of your faculty members and few of maybe a research students or other members working in them. I don't know how many of you are handling right now the transport engineering subject or other things. Is there any institutes in the country or the faculty members who are attending here are offering a course on the low volume roads or rural roads in your curriculum? If somebody they can unmute, they can speak. Is there any faculty members who is handling low volume roads or rural roads in the present curriculum where you are teaching? Hope I am audible. Rajesh?
Yes, sir. It is quite clear.
Okay, right. Yeah.
Yes, sir. Clear, sir.
Yeah. Okay. Is there
I
anybody?
request all the participants to please answer the key speaker, whatever speaker sir is asking. We need your active participation, please.
One more thing. Ikram, one more thing. Dear faculty members, I want to clarify one more thing. I don't want presentation should go in a one-way traffic. Let us have a two-way traffic, which will now I'm sure I will not make you bore. I'm sure of that. I'll try my level best. At the same time, I want a cooperation from you. Let us a two-way. Let whatever it may be. If you feel something to be asked, please stop in between. Let us discuss. Let us go further. No issue for me about that. Okay. We have a sufficient time. Now, somebody said they are not handling. Right. Then my next question comes is, what is this low volume road? Why the marginal material are to be used only in the low volume road? Or is the marginal materials are to be used only in low volume road? Can't we use in high volume road? Let us see that. Now, before they're asking that question, I openly ask one question. You can answer me, all of you. Think and all of you at the end of the presentation. The answer, I'm searching answer from the last 10-15 years after starting my career. But I found answers, but I'm not happy with those. But still, I need some inputs from you also. Now, first question is, if somebody asks a layman like me, somebody asked you, sir, what is this low volume road or what is this high volume road? Where do you draw a hard line or a differentiation between these roads? That's the first question. I'll answer all those questions also. The second question is, friends, we all know that we are all background of civil engineering. We have done our BTech or MTech and for some of them of doctorate and all those things, including me. When we plan some activity in civil engineering or some construction in the civil engineering, we plan perfectly. So what is planning? we see that the given task, the given target is executed in a cost-effective way without compromising the quality. But in case of payments, my question is, before we construct a road, we test the materials, we characterize the materials, we know how much traffic is coming on the road, we know what is the local condition of the site, you know what is the climatic factors that the road going to experience, you know what kind of material has to be used there, you know what kind of bitumen has to be used there, you know the temperature, you know the rainfall data, everything is available which you can get from the secondary sources. So while planning, design, you will design, you plan, you will design, you construct, and you open to the traffic. My question is, you take all the precautions before the construction itself only, then where is the question comes, why the road is still getting a premature failure? The road is getting in a still premature failure. What is the reason for this? Or is your characterization method is wrong? Or your initial input itself it is wrong? Where it's going wrong? We don't know. I tried to answer all the taking, you know, you are going to estimate today tools are available. If this is 2020, what will be the rainfall pattern in the 2040, 2050? Also, we can predict it. So somehow when when that is able to predict, why we are not able to effectively predict that if I today construct a road in SREC campus or in my NIT Warangal campus, yes, after 3 years, after 4 years, this is going to experience this much of. Some tools are there, but what is the reason? We do not know about it. So just think of, at the end of the lecture, we will discuss more about it. Now, coming to the high volume roads and the low volume roads. Friends, there is also one more time in between this called a rural roads. Basically, I can say the nomenclature that what we use. Rural roads are basically, if you look at our a road classification system as per our Nagpur, Bombay, Lucknow, and the latest modified system, rural roads comes under the tertiary category system, and which predominantly consist of village roads and ODRs, other district roads and village roads. What are the village roads? Village roads are the roads in the village which connected from the one habitation to the other habitation. And the farmer which are producing their agricultural product, they must to transport to the nearer headquarters or market center. So they need to access the higher order category of the road. That is what called ODR. So village road to ODR, ODR to the MDR, and so on. That's what the rural road. Normally, these rural roads are the low volume roads. That doesn't mean that all the rural roads, there are national highways, there are state highways, there are expressways, still we can call it as a low volume roads. So the question here is low, high. Definitely, to differentiate what is low volume road, what is high volume road, different is coming. The traffic is one of the main parameters. Now I'll ask what traffic you said. Somebody say low. Low means 1. High means greater than 1. Or low means 10, greater than 20. What is this? We have to define it. So I was going through a different part of the literature, and I come across few definitions. So I started it from the 1976. Okay. So one of the gentlemen says that you can pick up your own appropriate number. It means that it is not that you can pick up your own appropriate, not simply like my number is, lucky number is 786, so I go 786, not like that. He said that you can pick up own appropriate number on the scientific analysis. So as we all know that when you construct a pavement, when you plan, when you estimate the traffic, we know that there are standard norms as already established, given by you need to conduct a 7 days traffic, you need to conduct a 3 days traffic, depending upon the hierarchy of the road. And you need to get the, if you are not convinced, extend the traffic data, analyze it, and the traffic survey should not be conducted on a day, abnormal days. On the day, you can conduct in the area or in a district, in a state, and those things, and you can appropriate, say that, yes, these roads falls under the category of the low volume road. And other literature, if you refer to the literature, nationally as well as internationally, the low volume road definition varies from the vehicle starting from the 50 vehicles per day to the 5,000 vehicles per day. That means lower limit starts with the 50 vehicles per day to the upper limit 5,000 vehicles per day. Okay, and take it as granted from me, universally, there is no accepted definition for the low volume roads. Okay, it varies from the country to country, it varies from the state to state, it varies from the region to region, even it varies from the researcher to researcher. So universally, there is no accepted definition for the low volume road. But primarily, for all the planning, design, and construction activities across the 70% of the literature across the globe says that a low volume that can be defined as an average fewer less than 400 vehicles per day, which is given by the Transportation Research Board. This is the widely accepted definition of these things. Okay, now, friends, that was the readings. Now you may ask me a question, sir, what is the reason or what is the rationality for accepting these 400 vehicles per day? Why should I follow you, sir? I define 200 vehicles per day. Yeah, there is a reason for that. The reason they quoted that is the peak hour, I'm talking about the peak hour volume of rural road of low volume. Peak hour volume of rural of low volume is about 15% of the daily traffic. Based upon the studies across the established that is a 15% of the daily traffic. That is 15% of the 400 is 60 vehicles. That is 60 vehicles per hour. If you translate further, 1 minute per vehicle. Now you practically imagine in rural roads, in a rural area, will you get more than this? 60 vehicles per hour? 1 minute per vehicle? Maybe, may not be in some cases, other things. So that is the rationality that they are followed and they are defined that. So now we can say that any vehicle which carries greater than 400 vehicles per day, you can call it as a high volume road. But this definition in India, right now, in India, we use a separate code of practices called Indian Road Congress Special Publication IRC SP 72 2015 Code of Practices. We say that a low volume road in India is defined as a road which carries a 2 million standard axles during the design life is called as in low volume roads. Any road which carries more than 2 million standard axle is termed as a high volume roads. If it is less than 2 million standard axles, you follow for the design. The design of the road is IRCSP 72 2015. If it's more than 2 million standard, you will follow the IRC 37 2018 meant for the high volume roads. Okay, that's what the things are. Now, friends, that's what the background definition and definition of the low volume road that is available across the face of the earth. Now, what is the significance of this low volume road in India? Since we live in India, let us restrict our discussion to the country, our great country. Now, friends, I always used to say, for you and me, in general, the civil engineer, in general, the highway engineer, if there is any golden era, if there is anything like to write within a golden words in the history, I can say the millennium 2000 is the one of the golden era as far as the rural road is concerned in the country. Because got an independence in the 1947 till the 2000 year, and today 2020, we are about 75, 76 years of independence. Our roads, rural roads, because India is basically a village-based country, we have around 6.2 or 6.3 plus lakhs of villages that they're in the country. Now, before the 2000 year, if you look back and see, it's not far away. 20 years back, you ask, you try to evident it from the different literatures, or you try to interact with the villagers, those who are all villages, old people, they'll tell you. There were no roads that has been there literally, I can say, not a road, I can say a accessibility or connectivity to the villages. Literally, if at all it is there, it is only a local materials or morum material or earthen track, which is not an all-weather road. It means that if in a rainy season comes, heavy floods for 4 days or 5 days, you cannot access to the village. That is not all-weather road. Now, we have to thank the visionary, the late, the Honorable Prime Minister of the country, Atal Bihari Vajpayee ji, such a great visionary person who thought and initiated a program which is called, and all of you know that, Pradhan Mantri Gram Sadak Yojana. It is the first time in the country with the aim to have the connectivity and accessibility. Forget about the quality, forget about the level of service. First, a village should have any connectivity, should have an accessibility. With that, they started, and at the 2000, the first time after the independence, first book ever kind of like a Bible, a first book, IRCSP 2000, a rural road manual, which talks about the planning, design, construction, maintenance aspect of all the aspects of the rural road, first time developed. Till that point, there were no guidelines, there were no criteria, there were no any black and white paper to discuss about this. If at all it is there, it is purely based upon the eye judgment of the engineers, adagism of the engineers, and with an experience of the engineers, without much considering any scientific knowledge that has to be required. So friends, that I said that no payment design procedures were till this 2000. Then after 20, then followed by, we revised the IRCSP 2002, and again first book has been developed, Code of Practice in 72, then followed by the first revision in the year of 2015. Then latest, you can say also a stabilization of the payment, IRCSP 89, 2018. Yeah. So what is the significance of the low volume road, friends? Significance of low volume road, friends, I wanted to tell you. Look at these pictures. Look at my right hand side pictures. A water body is there. A 18 years girl, that is a picture is 34. If you see clarity, see a girl, hand a cut trunks wooden, keeping on her and coming from that side to this side. So the livelihood of the villages, livelihood of our great rural India lies on this road, because the livelihood means the job opportunities, the hospital, the recreational, the market, the employment, the job, and the day-to-day activities. You and me, if my rural road, my low volume road, my village road is not constructed, you might have not traveled from there to the city where you want to go, because our journey starts from there. That is the most of the important things. So whenever I see these pictures, it is heartburns. I have traveled around in the state of Telangana, in the state of Andhra Pradesh, particular, and in general in the state of across the country. I have been traveled around some last 5-6 years, about some 8,000-9,000 kilometers, and whatever the photographs that I'm using in my presentation, all from my practical experience. So this picture shows that such a typical. I'm sure that any urban girl studying in the urban will not be dare enough to do this kind of activities, but they don't think their life will be miserable because of the no connectivity, proper connectivity. These are the important things, because it creates their livelihood, most of the low volume roads. So with this background, friends, let me move further. If you look at the current status of the low volume roads, and we all know that India is the second largest country in the world, which is having about now 5.3 million kilometer of road network. Okay, and which is the second largest in the country after the USA. USA is having about 6.5 kilometers. Out of the 5.3 million kilometer of road network, I can proudly say that 80 to 85% of the network is my low volume road only. Hardly other remaining of urban roads, collect roads, or this way, that way. And whereas national highways and expressway contribute only 1.3 million kilometer, whereas state highway 1,56,000, national highway state highway 1,30,000, hardly consider about the 2 or 3%. Hope my slide is changed. Hello, friends.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. It's changing, sir.
Okay, right. So the current status of this, if you look at the 2000 year to 2017. So in the year of 2000, in the year.
Sir, yes, sir. Now it's changed. Now you are in the current status of LBRs in India.
Oh, okay.
Thank you.
So friends, now look at this. So the current status of the low volume roads in India. Look at the year 2000 and look at the year 2017. How the curve is exponentially growing. So as on today, we have 5.13 million kilometer of rural road network, whereas national highways and expressways 1.3, state highways hardly considerable. So these are the picture I have taken it from the MoRTH annual reports. Okay. I don't know why. There is some issue. Just a minute.
Okay, sir. No issues.
Yeah. So this is the alarming of things. Now, we are very good at anything production. Fortunately, unfortunately, we are very poor in maintenance. I can say that this statement because we are also very poor as a country in maintaining a database. So created the kind of infrastructure, the road infrastructure, the amount of money that has poured in the highway infrastructure as of today. If you see it, friends, it is really alarming. It is really alarming. I made one study. I don't know why it is going here and there. Yeah. In 2013, with a curiosity of interest, I made one study. Study means it is a theoretical study. PMGSY Pradhan Mantri Gram Sadak Yojana is started in the year of 2000 on December 25th. And the first phase of the PMGSY started construction from the 2003 onwards. And PMGSY 1, PMGSY 2, PMGSY 3, these are the phases that was going. Then I started I'm there as an MTech student in NIT Warangal 2004. I have also been involved. I have taken a data from the 2005 to 2013. What is the average cost of the kilometer of the road in the India, of the rural roads? So quite interestingly, I have taken Telangana in 3 districts, Warangal, Khammam, as well as Karimnagar. You can see there are 2 pictures. The top picture is the construction cost with cross drainage structures. The second picture is the construction cost without the cross drainage structures. So you see, friends, they're self-explanatory. In 2005, with it is 15.4, whereas without it is a 14.14, and so on. If you look at in a 2013, With the CD Works, it was around 55 lakhs, and without CD Works, it is in 54 lakhs. So what is happening? And today, because NIT Warangal is an STA, State Technical Agency and Principal Technical Agency, which is involved from the day one, from the inception of the program in the country. Initially, the NIT Warangal is guided entire country, then later on southern part. Now we are guiding about Telangana and the Andhra Pradesh as a STA and a Principal Technical Agency as this scheme is concerned. So as of today now, what is the situation now? Surprisingly, the average cost of the kilometer today for the rural road is touching about the 100 lakhs, 1 crore. Whereas the national highway, state highway, the average kilometer cost is around 8 to 12 crores. So we are adding day by day. That's good. So no, that's a good thing for the development things. So to make a development, we require materials. So what are the payment materials that is required? The payment material that we require is soils, as we know that, aggregates, binders, as well as the cement, sand, and other miscellaneous. Not only the requirement of the material, we also need to characterize the materials. Characterization test method also is a very, very, very important things. So subsequently, I'll speak about what are these characterization, what are these methods, and all those things. Now, with this background, let me show you a one beautiful slide where you definitely appreciate. Friends, these are all you can see in the slide, all category of roads. What are this? All category of roads, so many kilometers of roads are there. Starting from the hill road to the hill road, or national highway, state highway, gravel road, earthen road, paved road, unpaved road, collector road, urban road, whatever you name it. All these roads are there. Right? Now, what are this indicator of these roads? What is the use? What is the purpose of constructing these roads? Which we already discussed. Now look at this slide. Look at this slide. What I wanted to make you from this slide is that what is the real indicator at success of the low volume roads? It means that imagine that this box is my block box. Okay. We are all, let us say we are all, time being, we're all engineers. You are given a job to construct a road, a 1 kilometer of road from the A to B, where the kilometer of road is an input for me. 1 kilometer of road is an input for me. Okay. With the 1 kilometer of road input for me, I'll also add other parameters, social, this thing, those things, other factors are there. This is the other factors. Now, this is what my block box, friends. I have given what is the use of if you make a 1 kilometer of in the rural area and consider other factors, if you construct, what is that you are expecting? What is that you are expecting? So can anybody answer what is the output of these two as a parameters? You can put it in the chat box also. I'll be looking at the answers. Any guess questions? Any answers, faculty members? Hope I am audible to everyone. Rajesh, am I audible?
Yes, sir. You are audible, sir.
Okay, right. No issue. Okay. People may be thinking of. I'll show you the path. What will happen? Look at this. There is some issue with the animation that is happening. Otherwise, you will be enjoying actually. Yeah. These are the real indicator of the success. That is the time, education, trade, health, environment, cost, jobs and profits. Now, I can categorize all these things at a personal level. These are all for you and me. I need a job. I need a trade. I need a good health. I need education. But as a country, if you consider what our freedom fighters, what our great political leaders, what our bureaucrats, what you and me, general public, we are trying from all the way from the 1947 or from the day one, that is, it's going to be making a poverty reduction. That is what we are all trying. All the systems and all these things, there is a poverty reductions. So this is the greatness. This is what the importance of the low volume roads or rural roads in general, friends. Now let us move further. Now, what is the importance of the payment? Now, obviously, for any country, transportation plays a vital role. No doubt about it. We need to construct a payments. So what I want to say is that about 34 million kilometers of road networks existed on the face of this earth, friends. About 34 million kilometers of that is equivalent to the, what I'm showing a globe here. Circling the globe about 8 times. Circling the globe about 8 times. Now, in the recent past, from the last 3-5 decades, or from the last 10-20 years, where we all of us hearing, there are a lot of natural disasters, okay, and there is a lot of natural scarcity of the aggregates, payment materials, and etc. I just want to quote one thing here. When I joined a PhD at NIT Warangal in 2007, I have been given a job to teach the first year BTech in environmental science engineering subject. I don't know. In the year of 2000, I made one statement. Again, I'm telling to you also here. Take out from the 2020 to next another maybe 20 years, by 2040 or by 2050. If the war comes between state to state, district to district, between a wife and husband, and between the country to country, it is only because of the drinking water, nothing else. And also sure that whatever you and me earn from as a salary, 50%, if not 50, 60% the salary amount need to be invested to get the water only. Because I'm from a rural background, I know, never imagined when I gone to my school, when a natural stream, taking my shirt out, making a sand pond and drinking water, I did not get any back pain, headache and all those things. But slowly today, mineral water, UV water, RO water, aqua water, alkaline water, and never imagined, never expected that I'll put a 25 rupees from my pocket and I'll purchase a 1 liter of water, which is a natural resource. So in the same way, friends, if you are a civil engineer, we are definitely aggregate demand is about the 300 million tons per year. It is a huge demand for the construction. On the other side, the government of India says that, as per the government of India official records, annual reports, 2014-15, they said that we need to construct a 12 kilometer per day. In 2015, that has been revised again, says that 23 kilometer per day need to be constructed. And 2018 and 19, they said we need to achieve 30 kilometer per day. Actually, the target is 40 kilometer per day. So whatever the natural resources that is available, slowly depleting, how long you keep on excavating, and you're going to eat in the natural resources? Definitely the day will come Already we are experiencing in terms of tsunami, earthquake, that cake, corona cake, all those things. I don't know if somebody said related to the environmental and nature, how far true it is, but maybe I believe strongly that yes, there is a relation. There is a relation as the nature is concerned. Nature is cleansing, nature is cleaning. So other side, we require development. Where do you get all these materials? So this is the target and the huge demand for the road aggregates and around the world, not only in India. And there is as a result, there is a diminishing of the conventional aggregate that is available. Keep on all you see, you travel to your native place, you travel to the something, the kind of the quarry, the kind of the development, the kind of the excavation that is going on, there everything, almost everything is excavated and poured into the other sectors. Slowly, aggregate is becoming a scarcity. Once the material becomes the scarcity, the cost-effective point of view comes, the availability issue comes, the lead distance comes. All this is going to ultimately lead to the cost of the payment construction, cost of the infrastructure construction. And not only that, environment impact also a concern across the world. So friends, in this aspect, people started thinking, no, how long we are going to use this natural material depletion, scarcity the material? There must be some way to come out. Then people started using nowadays, the people said that smart materials, sustainable materials, green materials, innovative materials, marginal materials, locally available materials, smart materials, intelligent materials. I don't know what are these smart, intelligent, and all those things, but surely there is one can I say, the waste materials that is generated from the nature, from the industries, from the locally available, they are simply dumped. On one side, there's the disposal issue. On side, there is a air pollution issue. This is going on. If you are not going to handle this issue, if you are not going to address this issue, definitely, then people started thinking, okay, can we do? Then there is an option called recycling, reuse. These are the options that is coming the things in that category. Marginal materials or innovative material for the low volume road construction is considered to be a good option. Why I'm telling for the low volume road is that, friends, low volume road means hardly on my low volume road daily I can expect about say 20 scooters, 50 bicycles, hardly one school bus, maybe 10 to 3 tractors or bullock carts, where I don't require to put a 1 meter payment transaction waste of the money. I don't require any superior quality of the material. If I can able to construct with the locally available, low graded, low quality material without compromising the performance of the payment, definitely this material is going to be a beneficial and you're going to also save the environmental point of view the things. So in this aspect, friends, let me define what is the marginal materials. How do you define the marginal materials? What is the definition of the marginal materials? So as I said, tremendous quantities of materials are used annually in the construction, maintenance, highway payments at all levels of the road network, and also rising the energy costs and depletion or a shortage of the conventional quality of the materials, which has contributed to the financial burden on highway agencies, contractors, and road agencies. So what is this materials? Marginal. What the definition says? So you can see the definition of the marginal material here. I quoted the material. Is it visible?
Sir, right now it's not visible, sir.
There is some issue. Just a minute, Rajesh. I'm just connecting it.
Yes, sir. We will wait. No issues.
Is it visible now?
No, sir.
I'll do one thing. I'll start sharing from your LMS. I'll just reconnect just one.
Yes, sir.
Hello.
Sir?
Okay.
Yes, sir. Your voice is audible, sir. But your screen is not shared, sir. Now it's sharing. That is,
Now its screen is coming?
yes, sir. Your screen is
Now?
coming, sir. Why to use marginal materials?
Okay, right.
Yes, sir.
Right. Okay. Sorry,
Yes, sir.
sorry.
No issues.
Friends, sorry. There is some, this is a technology problem sometimes. Okay.
Why is this somewhat
Uh,
stuck, sir? Or why is it somewhat?
Voice is okay now?
Now it's okay, sir.
Okay, right. So that is what the importance of the payment materials that comes. Now, what is the definition of this marginal materials? So marginal materials means, I can say that one of the PI, a Permanent International Association of Road Technical Committee, they defined that material which is not wholly accordance with the standard specifications, in use in a country or a region for heavy materials, but which can be successfully used either under special climatic condition or treatment to enhance its properties. There is one more also the Astor Road Technical Report has given. There is a non-standard road building materials which do not comply with the readings. So to summarize, what you can say, what exactly the marginal materials are. For our discussion, marginal material can be defined as material which do not in their present form possesses the quality levels as defined by the current highway standards, code of practices, guidelines for their use in various payment structural components, including the base, sub-base, binder, as well as the surface courses are the different category of the roads. So that is what are the things. Why means, God has not created you and me all equal height, equal color, eyes, and all those things. Similarly, the universe is also not created because it's a mixed mode. So whatever the available to the material, we can sometimes readily used, we cannot use readily sometimes. So which we cannot use readily sometimes doesn't mean that is a waste material. Waste materials can also be converted to the best use material. Such kind of material is the marginal materials. So that is what the definition of the marginal materials and all those things are. Now, why we have to use this marginal materials? Because road construction material selection is something like in a fitness per purpose. When you go for the recruitment of a police, when you go for the job, when you go for something, we have in a different typical process. That is for the whether you fit or not. Though we need to ascertain that road construction material selection as a fitness for the purpose. Second one is this material is neither substandard nor wastefully above the standard. It means that you cannot ignore completely as a bad material. You cannot say completely as a unusable materials. Wide range of low-grade materials used successfully for where the traffic is low. Environment is understood and accounted, and the quality control is inadequate, and the maintenance is a timely aspect. So this is the factors which was given by one of the Cook and et al. From the Transportation Research Laboratory. Now coming to the what are these materials? Innovative materials, marginal materials, locally materials, sustainable, whatever you call it, these are all the interrelated one-to-one. But to clarify you, between these two, innovative, marginal, local materials, for you to clarify you, innovative means a material which can be directly used for our purpose, for which it is intended, or 100% may not be used. Marginal material, I can say definitely 99% we cannot use it directly. 1% there may be a chance where you can use directly. All the locally available materials are such marginal materials. I cannot say that all locally available material, innovative materials, all locally available materials are marginal materials. So technologies with and without the IRC code of practices. Friends, ultimately, who has to use this technology? Who has to use these materials? Who has to design these materials? Ultimately, it is you, or you can say engineers, field engineers, and academicians like you, researchers like you and me. But the problem is, there are issues when it comes to the field, when it comes to the, I'll address this a bit later. So friends, I have listed a few to address, to modify this marginal material to suit our requirement, where we can use the lime stabilization, you can use the cement stabilization, you can use the bitumen, and so on. And other side, right-hand side, you can find out. These are the latest commercially, innovatively available non-traditional stabilizers, I can say. Started from the Terrazyme, RBI grade, geotextiles, slag, steel slag, processed waste, and Terra Prime, Zycobond, TerraSeal, and so on. If you browse the Indian Road Congress website, how many are there, what are the accredited material, you will find the list of the material which is available there. Okay, so these are the, I am going to discuss few of a glimpse of this. What is the Terrazyme, what is RBI grade, what is geotextiles, what is the TerraSeal, what is the work that we have carried out at ND Warangal, what are their limitations, actually why we cannot do it at the full scale, what are the issues, what are the challenges that I will address subsequently as we go to the part of the things. Up to now, any questions, any clarification, friends, from your side? Do you want me to clarify any questions? Rajesh?
Sir?
Any participant can ask any questions up to till I to move further part.
Yes, sir.
Sir, we will have it at the end, sir. So far, very clear.
Okay,
sir. We'll have it
right.
at
Then
the
no
end.
issue. Now, then followed by the, so these are the various types of the materials that you can categorize. So this has given by one of the researchers, Cook and Gowrie, in 2002, Tier 1, Tier 2, Tier 3, Tier 4, Tier 5, and making that hard rock, weak rocks, natural gravels, and also manufactured materials and all those things. So to use one of these materials, there are what are the factors affecting to use these materials? Basically, traffic loading, environment, material properties, as well as the design configurations. So he says that some literature, some researchers says that traffic loading is concerned. Traffic loading does not have any significant effect on performance until a road which carries 50,000 equivalent standard axles if you use the marginal materials. And also, traffic load in excess of 50,000 equivalent standard axles, low volume roads, incorporating the marginal material requires a greater maintenance and rehabilitation from the time to time. However, this conclusion may not be the limited, drew the same conclusion. Limits may have been placed on the use of marginal materials with respect to the traffic specific test and the criteria that has been evaluated. But what I can say here is low volume roads can also be influenced by seasonal factors as well as agricultural and the other production parts. Similarly, you can say that coming to the environment parameters, seasonal moisture contents, as well as the pavement pore water pressures, moisture contents, traffic loading, also results in the reduction in the shear strength of this material. Hence, a significant decrease in a rutting resistance may also be contributed. Followed by the material properties, the same study, they said that material properties in terms of the shape, in terms of the particle shape, particle size, particle diameter, strength and durability, and also the consistency limits and its volumetric mix, stability also plays an important role. So material with unfavorable grading, that is a poorer interlocking, aggregation particle is associated with the lower densities and lower mechanical stabilities. And finally, other parameters, what are the design considerations that we have to. So there is a one apprehension among the engineers that I am not happy with the waste materials or recycled material to be used in the surface courses because of they have already in service for so many years. It may not sustain my it may not fulfill my purpose. So I cannot use these materials in a asphalt layers. There's a top surface courses. In Australia, they used this abundantly in length and breadth of the country. They use this marginal materials in a base and subbase course, and they observed that over a period of time that there is a good payment performance payment performance models has been documented. Material used in base and subbase like a calcrete, limestone, ferricrete, silicate, loam, sandstone, natural gravels, RAP, RCA, CND, kill dust, and so on, etc. And the one study in 99 where drainage was poor, there was a prevalence of the longitudinal surface cracking the things. Now, dear faculty members, my dear colleagues, I want to say one question here. To design a road successfully using the marginal materials or a conventional materials or innovative materials or whatever it may be, there are three mantras. There are three successful mantras. I can say successfully three mantras are there. First mantra is the drainage. Second mantra is the drainage. Third mantra is the drainage. Absolutely, there is no doubt about it. I can confidently say, fortunately, unfortunately, our country are across the some countries, we maintain very poor drainage. As a result, whatever you talk, a premature failure, cracking, all these things are the no time the road infrastructure, the road network is vanished because of due to the a poor drainage aspect of the one of the major important parameters. So friends, there is a list, long list is there, but I have mentioned only few lists. Now, to use these materials, what should be the selection and evaluation criteria? I know that for a traditional stabilizers, the selection process is well documented, depending upon the soil type, depending on the climatic, depending upon your traffic requirement. You know that. What I mean for that is that an engineer is happy with the already established procedure and guidelines that is available as per the code of practice to construct a road. Now, I am giving him to use the non-traditional stabilizers. Then immediately question starts. First question comes. If you ask the field engineer, first question comes, sir, what is the SSR, standard scheduled of rate of this material, tell me, which is not there. So I cannot take a risk. Sir, such kind of issues are there. I'll come a little bit later. So for non-traditional stabilizers, application rates, method, effectiveness, consistency or inconsistency, documentation, and sometimes the misleading concepts would also be there. So enzymes have a good potential in clay soils, but a very inconsistent performance. What I want to say is that enzymes have good potential in clay soils, but very inconsistent performance. A country like us, we predominantly blessed with mostly our alignment passes through most of the time to the problematic soils such as clays and expansive soils. I cannot deny, since my road passing through the clay or a problematic ground, I cannot say that I cannot construct a road. You don't have option. You have to make the attempts. In those cases, these marginal materials or these enzymes materials or these innovative materials are coming into the picture to construct those. But again, there are the issues. I'll come a little bit later. New stabilizers need testing and evaluation. Very important parameter, very important point. Things. New stabilizers need testing and evaluation. Testing and evaluation doesn't mean that merely conducting a OMC, MDD, aggregate impact value, bitumen penetration grading, and satisfying the material, recommending to the construct of the payment, which is not the a kind of the procedure system that we have to do it. There must be a thorough scientific and systematic evaluation should be done for the material before you use any new stabilizer in terms of its performance, in terms of its durability, in terms of its cost, in terms of the characterization of the materials, and also taking into consideration the climatic factors. So the product evaluation should be done at the full test section. And there should be, or if not full test section, small scale test panels, or independent fit for purpose certification or performance based laboratory test. So you might have heard there is something like called an accelerated payment testing facility. Friends, what I wanted to say here from this slide is that we are all faculty. You may be guiding MTech and BTech students project guidance in day-to-day life. Problem is, taking a CBR mold, a height of some 150 meters, diameter of something else, and make some material in that, compact that materials, test under the CBR, you are getting 8%. What is the significance of that test? Because what you are trying to do actually is that you are trying to make a payment thickness different layers, 3 layers or 5 layers in the mold. Try to give it to 56 or 75, depending on the heavy or low compaction, and try to ascertain how effective this material is. And you are trying to allow penetration test. Basically, CBR is a penetration test. Now, what is the practical significance of this material, this test outside? Outside, my payment thickness is about 600, 800 millimeter. I am testing it as a 200 millimeter or 150 mm height or 200 height. Thickness is very less. Plunges penetrate into that. So not that kind of a testing. We need to have a real-time test track studies, construct payment layers. That's called a test track, subgrade, subbase, base, binder, surface, evolve the traffic, simulate the water conditions, simulate the moisture conditions, document the data, study it, performance that is what I want to say means the product evaluation criteria means that is the main evaluation criteria. So moving to the next, these are all I have taken from some of the CODA practices. What are these materials? Bituminous, Portland, lime cement fly ash, bituminous material, and lime cement fly ash, as well as the lime concrete, as well as the some other materials, recommending their plasticity index, recommending their engineering requirements, and all those things. So if you come across the literature, you may getting it out. Sir, how to choose a particular type of a stabilizer? So this flow chart is adapted from the Forest Department, adapted by the AASTO, United States of America. This says that perform the CV analysis, perform the Atterberg limits, and try to see that is the number 200 means corresponding to our Indian size UCS soil classification. What are the PI requirements, and try to ascertain what are the go for lime stabilization, cement stabilizations, or kind of a stabilization that is requirement. For our IRC also has modified, taken this into consideration, and they have also done something. If somebody is using, these are the soil properties subgrade. Let us say you want to make a subgrade soil stabilization. So where PI is less than 10, PI is less than 10 or less than 20, PI is plasticity index is greater than 20, and so on. You can say that an on-site type of stabilization, cement, lime pozzolanic stabilization. One can use this chart, one can use this table and try to pick out which kind of a stabilization method that you need to adopt and you need to go for it. So this is what a broad evaluation criteria or a guidelines or a importance why we have to study about them. Now let me rush through different kind of the various works that we have carried out at NIT Warangal. As I joined as a faculty in 2013. So as of today, I guided about some 40 MTech theses and different MTech theses and work on the different materials. So one such of material what I tried is the Terrazil. Terrazil soil stabilization. What is this Terrazil? So friends, Terrazil is the kind of a stabilizer used for these subgrade stabilizations. What does what it does? It means that the company fellow visited NIT Warangal. I was interacted with him. He told me that, sir, give me a block cotton soil or a clayey soil which has got a CBR of less than 1. I can make the CBR of this soils, so could CBR of your soils will increase to the minimum 20, minimum 15, minimum something like that. Okay, so he said this is the Terrazil. Then he told me that to perform a ball test. For you also, I suggest we need to always do a ball test. What is ball test? So I took this material. I took the block cotton soil. You can look at this is the one of my MTech student worked on this. So this is the typical BC soil properties we determined, which we have collected in the campus and determined in the laboratories. What are their different properties of block cotton? So where you can see soaked CBR values 1 and 5. That is soaked CBR is 1, unsoaked CBR is 5. Of course, unsoaked, forget about it. We talk about the soaked conditions. So for this soaked CBR 1, what I took is I took the soil. He has given me the terrazil, and I make a like a Tirupati Venkateswara Swami laddu. I made a laddu, pulverized it, and put by 1 or 2 ml of a terrazil material, and I started making a ball. I made a ball. It has become stiff. I took a glass of water. I put it in the glass. He told me, sir, the manufacturer company provider told me, sir, you can wait for an hour, 2 hour, or 1 day, 10 day, 5 days, 6 days. So what I did is I put it in the glass and waited for 10 days. After 10 days, I took it out. And I started, like we do, whether our custard apple is ripened or not, I started taking it in my hand and I started pressing it. It has become like a hard rock. Then again, I put it in the water. And 16th day, I took it again. Then I took outside this time. What I did is I took a hammer and started hitting the materials. Slowly, it is giving a nice musical sound back, but it is not cracking. Then I hit it little, putting a light pressure. Then it started slowly got cracking. So this is the kind of a material, this is kind of a chemicals or an innovative solution that is available. Now, sir, why are you telling this story? What is the use of this? You may ask me a question. Yes, I'm coming to that. Friends, in a village, you remember, whenever there is a rain, if your house is constructed in a village, you can see if it's a block cotton soil, is a red soil, is something, such a slushy it becomes. And also, block cotton soil behave very, very erratically in summer, very erratically in winter. In summer, you can put your leg, you can put your head in the mud. Okay. Whereas in winter, with that you can make a chapati. So in those conditions, what is after 16 days soaking in the water also, it has become so stable material, so strong, so durable. 16 days, you can apply in clay soils, you can apply in a surface ground, you can apply in a where there is a such type problem up there. So we have taken this terrazil and the kind of the evaluation that we adopted, you can see on the right hand side through a flow chart. Now, interestingly, so what we have also seen, what are the various properties that has been changed. So we could see that CBR value is considerably has come to about 8%, 12%. It is going on, keep on increasing. And you can see here by dosage, 0.1, 0.3, 0.2, curing for 7 days, 14 days, and 28 days, how the CBR values keep on increasing. This is what the soaked CBR values, block cotton soil and terrazil. We could see that at 0.8% by weight is 11.94, 1.2% weight is 13.97, then it has come to the 1.6, 12.13. There is a decrease, increase and decrease. We stopped at that. It means that it is in a 12% CBR. Soaked CBR of 12%. So I hope you understand, all of you, what is the importance of the soaked CBR value of 12. And there are the agencies which provides, yes, my chemical will give you 300% CBR, 200% CBR. I don't know what is this mechanism, because 100% I can understand. Beyond 100%, it is too brittle and it is prone to be very crack. So we need to evaluate the things. And not only that, look at this picture. So you need to look at this picture means, this is the picture what my student did is, he has taken a treated material and untreated materials. Okay. So first to try is, he made a sample and he has done that. And second sample is, he has made he had to see what is the capillarity rise of this test, because in field groundwater table make a very important role. He has done a UCS sample on the 40 mm diameter and 80 meter length of the sample and put in the capsule. So you can, that is one sample is collapsed. And not only that, in front of our division in NIT Warangal, what he did is he excavated a pit and a layer by layer sublayer is constructed and one layer of treated this material constructed, and he has submerged this material with the water. You can see not a single water or a water that has been infiltrated and has moistened the surface. So this has giving I don't say that is a excellent, it is giving a promising results for the engineers to use these materials and to use this material. Second kind of material we are using is a RBI grade 81. That RBI grade 81 is a Road Building International. This is also used for the subgrade as well as the base or sub-base stabilization, whereas this material also is giving a good promising results in terms of the CBR, in terms of the UCS values. And friends, important point here is this: thickness and comparison, and as a cost point of view comparison. We found that RBI grade 81 is uneconomical. You can see here, without stabilization, the cost, cement at a 2%, and the RBI grade using at a 2%, what is the cost? And you see the thickness values here, 2%, 5%, 7%, using what is the thickness of the pavement layers also. So we found that RBI grade 81 is not economical, but it is giving a good value. But you know, when we use some marginal or innovative material, forget about the cost, it must give any promising results in terms of the reduction of the pavement thickness or a reduction in the cost of the pavement. But both cannot go higher up, shoot up. Then there is no use of those materials. So from this, the quite observation of this that CBR of block cotton soil was increasing with increasing dosage of RBI grade 81 and the curing period. And we found that RBI grade 81 and added to the BC soil, the free cell index of the soil is decreasing. And the thickness of the pavement layers also 26% when treated with a 2.7% cement and RBI grade 81. Whereas the cost of the pavement cost is decreased by 15% when treated with the cement and pavement. But it is to be noted here that stabilization with RBI grade 81 is an uneconomical as far as this study is concerned. Okay. And the other important crux, other important of the issue, what I wanted to highlight to this. Sir, you have listed out the few materials and told that this material can be used, this material showing these properties, all those things. Then why we are not using these materials? Who has to use these materials? So friends, one of the main reason, what is the failure of these technologies? First and foremost things I'll tell you is that field engineers are not ready to accept these materials. You know why? Our roads are bound to be failure. Because if you don't design, our roads are be bound to failure, the contractor will not get a maintenance. Okay? Not only that, what is the problem is fear and lack of the confidence and accountability. So here what I wanted to say to simplify to your understanding is that, friends, if you ask the field engineers, he will tell you that, sir, I am very much happy with the existing CODA practices given by the Government of India, Ministry of Road Transport and Ministry of Rural Development, where wet mix macadam of conventional material 100 millimeter, water-bound macadam of 175 millimeter grade 1, grade 2, DBM dense bituminous macadam so and so, surface course followed by so and so. It is performing better. I don't have any cases. I did not worry much about the CODA practices, procedures, guidelines, all those things. Now you are coming and asking me to use this material. Now please prove and tell me how this, if you say that 100 millimeter of water-bound macadam is equivalent to the 75 millimeter of RBI grade 1 materials, or 50 millimeter of terraceous materials, or 50 millimeter of cement stabilization materials, how you are going to prove? Then tell me, what is the cost? What is the technical support? So these are the main apprehensions, problems that we have. Then whose responsibility is this? The responsibility is like you and me, engineers, researchers, this is our responsibility to carry out the research, inculcate the confidence of our field engineers, encourage them to use these materials. Definitely, we are going to be save the nature, save the material, save the cost, and definitely without compromising the quality of the materials. And also one more point is no information about the life cycle cost analysis of structures, no standard specifications. And another important parameter, you can look at the figures. These figures, actually, I made these figures for your understanding. What I wanted to show from here is that we have got our engineers, we make a mistake and we try to rectify. So friends, this is the one of the road in a Guntur district. I request all of you to listen very carefully. This is very quite interesting. This is a 1.3 kilometer of road in a Guntur district, having a block cotton soil subgrade. Engineer is facing a lot of problem to construct this road. They have adopted a conventional cement stabilization method. Required specification limits have been met. They constructed a road, means that the subgrade top 300 millimeter in case of low volume road is ready now. But after that, they could see that they dug out the cores, they tested in the laboratory, and they could not achieve the required strength that's supposed to be achieved as per the Ministry of Rural Development. Consequently, the engineer in the second picture, in the middle person, D.G. Subramaniam, he contacted the NIT Warangal. Myself and Professor Ramanamurthy, we both visited the site and we have examined in our own way. Quite interestingly, what I wanted to say here, point thing is, this point, availability of construction equipments. Friends, absolutely they used a very good quality of the cement, used very good cubic meter, about 350 kg per meter cube, no doubt about it. What happened is, when we went and dug the third picture, we take a lump of the soil and we try to see it, break inside. The cement was not found in the inside of the core. It was only coated outer part. Why it is so happened? Because you know the block cotton soil behave very erratically. In summer it is in a lumps. It is like a rock. We need to pulverize it. The agency has got only a rotavator or a simple cultivator or a breakdowner. We don't have a state of the equipment. Whatever the equipment that you have with that equipment, they could able to see that. You see in my second picture in my hand, in one side there is a big lump, the other side there is small like a fine particles. They could able to do only till that size. Then they constructed starting, obviously inside the cement coated is not there, request strength is not coming. So friends, what I wanted to conclude from this slide is that unless until you have the state of the equipment and machinery available in the country for the cement stabilization, whatever the methodology technique that you are going to do, it is simply wasting up the money, pouring up the money into the mud. Very simple, nothing else. So we wrote the same recommendation of the government of India. It is not of the fault of the engineer. It is not fault of the anyone once. It is a fault. It is a lack of the technology. So another thing is that where we lack in the country is lack of performance data and technologies in India. Friends, just imagine 2000 to 2020 or from the last 20 years, we are using number of technologies. But we failed in documenting the performance data of these technologies. In a Jammu Kashmir, somebody used cement stabilization. In Bihar, somebody used a lime stabilization. In Warangal, somebody used some fly ash. In Uttar Pradesh, somebody used something. In Karnataka, somebody something. And somewhere, some part of the country. But it is only limited to there. The centralized data, yes, cement stabilization country like India, corner of the country somebody used, the results are this, promising are this. But what will happen in southern part, I will again start it. So we have very lack of performance data and technologies in India. There is but you look at the developed countries, for example, USA. USA has got, each state has got DOTs, Department of Transportations. Each department maintains their network of a district, state, and you browse there, you have a lot of performance data. Okay, so that is also one of the important things. The days to come, Government of India should address these problems. Then, when you ask our engineers, why don't you use this technology? They use this technology, they prove in two ways. Either make use of the higher provisions technology and see that it's not cost effective, or use the lower way and say that it is not reduction in the cost. This is happening because of the lack of guidelines, lack of code of practices, lack of research in the country. There is a way to come. You name any material on the face of the earth today, all of you, those who are joined for a PhD, those who want to do a research, take a material which has not been utilized so far in any construction. Start doing this. Maybe you may be given a patent on those materials. Please take it from me. Now look at this photographs. The kind of the technology they use in elsewhere, not in India. For the lime stabilization, for sprinkling of water, for mixing of the materials. Somehow, this kind of material, this kind of techniques we are missing in the field. We are nowhere inferior, we are nowhere things, but only thing is the kind of the rate application, the uniform rate, the mixing rate, the compaction rate, all this matters to serve this materials a good. Now, another important parameter, friend, is recycled aggregates, concrete aggregates, or reclaimed asphalt pavements. I think Dr. Ratish might have covered this part, but I'll speak about the 2 minutes. These are the photographs taken during my visit in the Telangana on the rural roads. And that is the 2 pictures which have been taken from the internet, demolished waste of the buildings, or flyovers, or bridges. Now, when we design a pavement, we all know that flexible pavement are designed for 20 years, concrete pavement are designed for 40 years. Vice versa, buildings are designed for 100 years. Whether they stand 100 years are not an issue. Now, if you come to the building, if it comes to the concrete pavement, dams, flexible pavement, after the design life, 100 years of the building, let us say entire earth, entire globe has achieved 100 years. After 100 years, what you are going to do? Definitely building has to be demolished and they have to make a new one. Where is the material is there for new construction? Okay, if it is available, you can use it. What you are going to do the existing material? What are you going to do such failure of pavement materials? You are going to excavate, you are going to throw out, you are using new materials? No, absolutely I don't recommend this. This is not the order of the day. The order of the day is something different. They said recycling. Recycling. If as an engineer, why engineer? I'll tell you my own story. I asked my wife, I want to construct a house in my native place. So there is nearby one what you call dam in my native place. Is a kachak, a culvert, or a small dam is they are going to be dismantled. A lot of metal is coming out. So if you want a slab, we can use those materials. That's a good thing. Then she said, "Are you mad? Why? Here you constructing a house, and this is my sentimental. This all those things." Now you and me as an engineer, if you are not going to use this, and if you are not going to experiment this, if you are not going to inculcate the competence engineers, who are going to use? Okay, but one thing is that definitely they are already served for over a period of time, already in service payment. They may not be having the required strength as the conventional material required, but my research, through my research, what my experience is that this material, even after 15-20 years, they are not inferior to any conventional aggregate, provided if you can make a little treatment using the cement or a chemical or a lime, or use the 50-50, 50-75, 30-40, whatever the replacement that you want to make use of these materials. Definitely you are going to save thus much of cost, thus much of the materials for the construction purpose. So another thing is, I did not repeat, I think not necessary to repeat. Dr. Sunita might have covered all these factors. We are also working at it. So this is what one of my PhD student worked. We have evaluated a PhD has been awarded for him on the use of the coir geotextile and the low volume road using the accelerated real-time test stack study. So this is what the pictures of this test stack study. So you can see the fourth picture, test stack after a test. So we made a circular one, 1 meter thickness. On the top second, these are my students who is working, and this is how we have simulated the moisture content for a period of time, compaction over the BC soil, or the Moram soil, or the loamy soil, and we have done quite a good extensive study. We have got a good publication from this study, coir geotextile also. This is also one of the potential expense area. So what I wanted to say is that all this material, what I have listed, a commercial stabilizers, non-commercial stabilizers, need to be thoroughly studied under the accelerated payment testing facility for the real-time condition and document the performance specification and supply to the government and try to bring out in the form of CODA practices is the order of the day. Okay, so you can see the last picture, preparation of the sub-base after. So it's going to be revolving 1 lakh, 2 lakh, 3 lakh, 5 lakh, 10 lakh. You know the design during the design period, how much traffic is going to come. So you can convert it to those things. So these are the arrangements that we made for the accelerated payment relations. And these are some of the outputs in terms of the combination. You can see different types of this upgrade, different kinds of coir geotextiles, and the different kind of a red depth that has been observed for the number of wheel passes and etc. So friends, to conclude summary and the way forward from the presentations, what I can say confidently that there is a lot of scope. What I want to conclude is that marginal materials, those which in general do not meet the current standard highway specifications. Portland cement concrete, so offer a potential source of lower cost highway material which can be used in a replacement for a supplement to the existing aggregate. And also use of high quality paving materials probably will have to be made in a premium payments. Premium payment is nothing but a high volume roads. However, the use of the marginal material for the secondary and low volume highways will allow not only economy, also the conservation of the resources, and also the use the higher quality material for the premium payments. So from this sense, what is the way forward that you can take is that we need to collect the analysis information on the global platform, understand the characteristics of these materials, prepare the realistic designs and the construction guidelines of each materials, consider the issues like traffic, rainfall, waterlogging, etc., etc. Here, one joke I'll tell you. I can say, not a joke, I can tell you one important point. We all follow MORTH specification, we all follow MODE specification, we all follow IRC guidelines, we all follow Indian standard quota practices. At least my personal view, I always feel that the aggregate that is available in the Bihar, the aggregate that is available in the Uttar Pradesh, the aggregate that is available in the Kerala, the aggregate that is available in the Chhattisgarh, and so on, are same. To the best of my knowledge, logically, they are not same. But what our code says, follow the CODA practices uniformly without considering the traffic, rainfall, water area, etc., etc. of the things. So there is a huge demand potential R&D works on usage of such materials, field demonstration projects, collection of the performance data, develop the guidelines, supply the guidelines, come out with the document is the order of the day as well as the India, a developing country like India is concerned. Okay, so with this, I thank you for your kind attention. I hope I made some sense. I don't say that I made some sense. Definitely, you can contact me through my email. for any research assistance or any other things materials, I'll be deflating. So it's already time 1:30. So it is the time for now. I'll give for some few questions to be asked by the participants. Thank you, Rajesh. Thank you very much for your things.
Sir, thank you. Thanks a lot, sir. Really, you made a sense to all of us. And the questions portions, better I will start from my side, sir. Being a structural guy, I have a small confusions in that. Whenever we are starting our project, that is a reclaimed, that is a recycled and reclaimed aggregates. Like the two terms they are using that. So whenever I'm seeing that our concrete based one, they are telling the recycled aggregate. But whenever I'm seeing that the road or transportation highway based journals, they are talking about reclaimed. So how can I differentiate this reclaimed and recycled?
See, recycling is in a common term that is used for the material processing. Recycling. Reclaimed asphalt pavement is particularly used for the flexible payments, because reclaimed asphalt means there is a bitumen is there.
Yes, sir.
It is very difficult to remove entire bitumen that is coated to the aggregate. So in terms of the anything that's a bitumen is there, asphalt is there, the reclaimed one. Reclaimed also can be used the recycling one. Normally, the concrete and the building, we use the recycling the term, whereas the reclaimed is from the asphalt pavements.
Sir, if any chances is there the same aggregate which I taken from the road, not surrounded by the asphalt.
Road means which road?
That is the flexible road.
Okay.
In the flexible road, in the subbase or base they used some boulders or aggregates. So can I at the time of reclaim, everything will come out as a whole thing. So I cannot use it for my building. Again, I have to use it only for the road construction, isn't it, sir?
Yeah.
Any other because the top layer only having that is surrounded by the bitumens and asphalt.
Yes.
But the bottom portions, subgrade, subbase, it's just bounded with the soil only. If I take that, can I use it for my constructions of buildings?
Yeah, that is what the problem. Reclaimed asphalt pavement material, you can use the building material also, provided if you are going to take out the complete bitumen coated with aggregates. Okay, that itself it is not at all suggested and cost effective. If you are able to do that, definitely that can be used. But in pavement, even if you don't remove the entire part, you replace the half part with the reclaimed pavement and half part with the conventional aggregate. Definitely in the lower levels, you know that subbase layer we normally use in a lower inferior quality of the material in terms of the lower subbase and upper subbase, where it acts as a drainage and separation. There we can definitely use this reclaimed asphalt pavement, but it is also not recommended to use in the top layer asphalt courses in the as a bituminous layer for the highway roads. But in a low volume road, definitely as a top surface can also be recommended, provided if you make the suitable modification with the other additives which govern the design requirements criteria.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir.
Yeah.
And Sunil sir, you can open and unmute yourself and you can talk, sir.
Yeah.
You can raise the question.
Sir, first of all, congratulations and sincere appreciation for a very nice, fantastic presentation, which has a full field application orientation. So it's very nice that you have asked. I have two questions to ask. One is, I have already put it in the chat box, that highlight the logistics of terraceous soil stabilization. That is my first question. And my second question, that in our state of Maharashtra, a majority of the land which is very fertile, and some mini roads, they go and pass through the black cotton soil. And black cotton soil, when the road is passing, even for the low volume road, it creates big problem. So whether this terrasil soil stabilization will be useful for black cotton soil stabilization?
Yeah, thank you very much, sir. Thank you for your very good question. Got a timely asked question. Yes, sir. That's what we are also did in the NIT Warangal. This Terrasil, Terrazyme, Terraprime, Zycobond, these are some of the chemicals. These chemicals are developed basically to stabilize the subgrade or to stabilize the clay materials. Clay material means a CBR value which is having less than 1% and 2%. In your case, as you said, it's a clay materials. Yeah, definitely you can use this material to improve the subgrade. No doubt about it. What does it require? It requires nothing else. To do that, only thing is you need to have a machinery. You need to have a good workmanship in the field. So what you can in the laboratory it is very easy to cast a sample and test for the CBR and UCS and get the. But sir, you know that laboratory conditions are different and the field conditions are different,
Yeah.
which you cannot take things. Yeah, as of now, studies shows that in the country, in our own country, in the different parts of the country, Terrasil, Terrazyme, Zycobond materials are effectively handling the subgrade issues by reducing the usage of the material and reducing the construction cost and reducing the total payment thickness required. Definitely, you can interact with me later, sir. And if I want, I can make you in touch with the technology provided to you. You can talk to them and you can execute a pilot study in your area, and you can observe the performance, and you can definitely make use of this material. Absolutely no doubt you can use those materials in your subgrade stabilization for the clay soils.
Thank you, sir. And what about logistics?
Sir, logistics means
cost-wise.
Yeah, it is a economical as compared to the conventional payment.
Achha. Okay.
It is economical.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you, sir. Sir, any other queries from participants? I think Rajiv Jain, sir, your voice is not audible. Dr. Rajiv Jain, sir, your voice is not audible, sir. Better you can type it in chat box, sir. I will ask. So any other? I think, sir, one more question from Dr. Rajiv Jain, sir. Sensitivity of this material to temperature.
Yeah. Very good one, sir. To the best of my knowledge, sensitivity of this material, definitely effect will be there. But as long as if you are using in the subgrade, base and subbase materials, as of now, to the best of my knowledge, I did not encounter any such kind of problems. But if you are using the surface courses, definitely the temperature effect is there. But the long-term durability, long-term performance aspect of the temperature of this chemical stabilizers is I'm not sure about it at this point of time. If anything, I'll definitely share with you and let you know it in the mean course of time. I'm not sure about if it is a temperature. I did not conduct any studies on those. Am I audible, sir? Okay. Yeah, Rajesh, any more questions?
Any other questions from participants? So, okay, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you very much. We have a very informative and highlighted so much things of marginals materials. So, thank you, sir. Thanks for sharing your knowledge and friendly talk to us. On behalf of our management and the Department of Civil Engineering, I have to say my that sincere gratitude to you all, and especially Dr. Shankar sir also for sharing this knowledge and a real experience to our site. Thank you, sir. Thanks once again, sir. And all our participants, they are telling that same thing in that chat box also. That is from John Brito, Pankaj Prasad, Basaraj, Aki, like that. They are giving that.
Rajesh,
Yes, sir. Sir?
Somebody is asking that, sir, define low volume rural routes. Okay.
Yes, sir. Basavaraj Aki.
Yeah, sir. In India, as of now, the definition of the low volume road is a road which carries 2 million equivalent standard axles, 2 MSA. Whereas more than in terms of the vehicle, you can say.
Sir, your voice is not audible, sir. Shankar, sir. Suddenly it's gone.
Is it okay now?
Now, okay, sir.
No, definition of the low volume road is in India is a road which carries up to 2 million standard axle is defined as a low volume road.
Okay, sir. Yes, sir. I think there is no questions from the participants so far.
Okay.
Anyhow, sir,
Okay.
thanks, sir. Thanks a lot, sir. Thanks for
Thank you.
spending time with us, sir. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
We can close the session. Dear participants, and you are having a 8th session. Attendance and feedback also is there, and 7th session, that is today morning first session. I think some of the peoples are asked that, keep on asking in that chat box. So morning session, that is 3rd day, first session, that is a session 7. We quoted here as a session 7. That link also given.
Thank you, Rajesh sir, for the same.
Yes,
Thank
sir.
you.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir. Thanks, sir. Then I hope you are copied, sir.
Yeah.
Yes. Thank you, sir. Okay, sir. Anyhow, the 15 minutes we are taken more because of that small problems occurs in the internet outage. So better we can start that not 2:30, 2:45 we can start, sir. 2:45 today the 3rd session will start, sir. Thank you, sir. Thanks all.